Phantom versus Vandal. Which weapon is better and which weapon you should be using? Both of these weapons here have their drawbacks and their, like things that make them unique. Phantom is a bit better for players that are playing smokers, for players that are spraying a lot, for players that are not really confident on their one-taps, and players that find themselves in a clutch scenarios, clutch situations. Vandal, on the other hand, I think it is much more forgiving weapon because everything in Valorant has a certain element of RNG. Why do I use Vandal even though I'm a spray type of player? First of all, I prefer the Phantom. Pardon me, I prefer the Vandal. Like, I feel much more powerful with the Vandal, even though I'm not a one-tap machine. But with the Vandal, even if you go for some kind of a gorilla spray and one bullet randomly hits the enemy in the head, you win a gunfight. Generally speaking, this is a huge preference. Just a preference, like there is no better weapon. And the weapon should not be decided by the agent that you're playing, by the map that you're playing, but what you feel most comfortable with and what you feel better with. Now, why do pro players primarily use the Phantom over the Vandal? Because they're playing in an esports and team environment. And they can rely that their teammates will do some kind of a chunks of damage with their utility, so they don't get 140 damage to the head. And it is better to rely on the Phantom that has more bullets, invisible tracers, easier to spray down the enemies, than relying on the Vandal, one-tap potential, and that's basically it. What's up, tricksters? My name is Charlatan. I'm an all-time Radiant player since closed beta and the #1 most experienced Valorant coach. If you enjoy this type of content, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. If you're interested in coaching yourself, be sure to join my official Discord over at discord.gg/charlatan. Some of the coaches and pro players that you're watching today were actually the students of Papito. And if you want a chance to win a free coaching, be sure to watch till the end of the video for more details. Other than that, enjoy in this one, baby. The question from GPSG is, personally, I think it was a bad game. I lost any impact I could provide to my team on attacker's side. So attacker's side is his problem on Ascent with Omen. When you're playing on Ascent, your primary focus of defense is making sure that short area and garden area of the map are fully defended. If you lose the short and garden area of the map, you lose such a valuable portion of the map for your team. On this map, your quote-unquote default bomb site and bomb site that you want to prioritize defending is the A site, because A site is harder for retake and easier for the post plant. Now, your third focus on this map is making pressure onto the enemies in early stages of the rounds on B main, A main, and mid area of the map. You don't want to be passive. You always want to get the early information where the enemies are, and based on that information, you want to position yourself like left, right, I don't know, but why are we making the pressure here, here, and here to make the enemies waste some kind of a utility that can be useful for them when they're pushing the site? One thing that you want to avoid on this map heavily is playing passively on B site and A site. And one very important thing on this map as well to keep, something that I'm always keeping the track of mentally, is whether or not the enemies can be here. I'm always keeping the track of the timings, where the enemies are. I'm asking myself, Charlatan, where did you see the enemies? Where can the rest of the enemies be? Because, it's absolutely stupid to get flanked through here, to get flanked through here, to get flanked through here. You need to have some kind of a control of market, some kind of an ability. Tell your chamber to do a tripwire, your killjoy to do alarm bot, Cypher to do a tripwire, anything. I know that this is a lot of the graphical stuff, but this is the proper way to play Ascent in the ranked solo queue. Now, based on all of this knowledge that I'll share with you right now, in the first round, you always want to prioritize defending the A site. What is this shit, man? Well, what is this shit? First round, I'm watching you and you're not listening to my advices that I have given you in coaching sessions. Why? So in the first round, if I'm playing Omen, I will always use this strategy and you will see me do this 24/7. Classic shorty, light shield, 1 smoke, 2 shrouded steps. Drop the shorty on the ground, pick up the shorty, tell one of your teammates to bait for you, tell him to do some kind of shit here and to get back on the site. Tell him not to die. Position yourself here. Enemies are pushing you. play this Kabi location in the smoke, wait for the enemies to initiate a push, peek the enemies, kill them, take a classic, and then you can reposition yourself maybe towards the generator, towards the short, or you can try to outmaneuver the enemies additionally. That smoke that you wanted to do there is not that good, because like when you do a one-way smoke like this, it takes some time for that smoke to drop. Like when you're using a one-way smoke to support your teammates and to deny enemies' positions, then you, first of all, you always want to position them as low as possible so they instantly drop onto that one-way position. And second of all, let's say you're playing A site and you want to do a one-way smoke for your teammates in A main area of the map. I see a lot of times, you know, players are using a one-way from here, using a one-way from here. Like, it is always the best to use the one-way as close as possible to the position where you want a one-way, so that the smoke is deployed as fast as possible and it provides the cover for your teammates. You know, it just deploys faster. And in the first round, I would never advise you on a defender side to buy the blind. Always go with 2 shrouded steps, 2 smokes, because they will give you more adaptiveness, and it's going to be easier for you to retake the sites, to outmaneuver the enemies, to outplay the enemies, etc, etc. Flash might be completely wasted. Flash is good in a team play environment, in a high elo lobby such as Radiant. Otherwise, in these lobbies, I would never buy the paranoia. Okay, I mean, let's talk about this for a second. If you already know that enemies are in B main, and enemies didn't even peek this area of the map, just instantly do a one-way smoke. What is the problem there? You know? Just instant one-way smoke. Enemies cannot cross you right now. You can use a shrouded step here. Kill them, go back on the site, play with your teammates, end of the story. Like, why don't we delay the enemy's push completely? Okay, one huge tip for all of you guys. When you get a fight with the enemies in the CT here, and you don't kill the enemies, and enemies are crossing into site, I would always cross the CT into the stairs, and I would make sure to play with this guy. As long as you have one teammate on the B site, on the actual site, you want to play with that teammate. You don't want to let that teammate die in some kind of an unfavorable fight, or to die alone. Like, try to trade him, try to play with him. It is kind of stupid to sell this Sova for nothing and not play with him at all. Okay, I think I don't need to explain that. Like, you know, when you're using the Omen flashes, like, try to use them a bit higher. Like, that was Ohio flash. I mean, if you use the flash here properly, you probably would have killed, like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 players there. And in this round, you invested way too much money, because in the next round, you won't have money to actually purchase the Heavy Shield and Vandal or Phantom. Buying these abilities in this round was really bad. Like, in this round, what I would have bought is just a smoke, 2 shrouded steps, and a shorty. I cannot afford paranoia. Okay, listen. Whenever you're not playing on the A site with Omen, and you see on the minimap that enemies are on mid, and potentially pushing your teammates in short, you need to learn how to do this smoke. On this lamp, right here, there's a green triangle here. Or you can use a smoke here. And essentially, that smoke is extremely important for your teammates on short. Especially in those eco and half-buy rounds, or when they're getting heavily pushed to the mid and short area of the map. Just to delay the enemies a bit, and to make sure that your teammates are not going to do some kind of a stupid peeks, and they're going to have easier time fighting the enemies. What you did in this round really didn't make any sense. I mean, I know that Arrow was revealing you, but if it's already gonna reveal you, it is better to stay on the site and wait to trade the enemies. Like, in this area of the map, it is not an effective range to use a shorty. But once again, we come to that point where your initial positioning was not good. I would much rather see you position here, trying to outmaneuver the enemies through the smoke and this small choke point, instead of positioning yourself like, you know, in a speedway in this round. And this is the #1 mistake of players in solo queue, like when they're playing Ascent. You cannot play this passively. especially in these lobbies where you're right now, you cannot play this passively. You need to play more aggressive. Hold this angle. Deny some space for the enemies. Try to kill the enemy here. Bam. Reposition. Bam. Play here. Surprise the enemies. Bam. Reposition. Do the one-way smoke. Peek again from third angle. You get the point. Like, you cannot instantly play on stairs, let the Sova dart reveal you, and allow the enemies to push you for nothing. Or, at the start of the round, come here. Position a one-way. Up there. Bam. Hold this. Bam. You control the full B main area of the map. Simple as that. This space and this space here should always be contested. But always. Or play Brimstone, I don't know. That is a mistake of your teammate. That is such a fucking stupid peek. Guys, don't do that in solo queue. I'm losing my mind. This is what Radiant players also do and Immortal players. Enemies are playing a bonus round. They have a Marshals, they have a Stingers, they have a Spectres. Let them push you. Hold some good off angle. Hold some narrow angle. Don't peek them. Don't fight them alone. You have the gun advantage. You have utility advantage. You have all of the advantages. Enemies are playing a bonus round. Why the fuck are we picking this short area of the map up there? For God's sake, Cypher. First things first, you know, if you have a Cypher on B, if you have a Sova on B, we demolish the enemy's push in the last round on B. In this round, I would probably play short. Even if you have two teammates on A, controlling the A main area of the map, I would play short this round. Because the highest chances in this round, right now, are that enemies are gonna abuse this area of the map here. Why? Because in the last round, we really, you know, demolish the enemies. You have a full Cypher setup on B. You have a Sova on B as well. And it's kind of stupid to play, you know, in the market, in the top mid, etc, etc. Right now, I would 100% position myself towards the short and try to stop the enemy's push there and play a fast rotation between the short, top mid, and B side.
Mid.
This position here is arguably the worst position that you can take when you're defending the push of the enemies on the B side. Like, there are so many betters, off angles and positions to play instead of this shit. This shit here is a suicide angle. The only time when this is worth playing is when you have a close range weapon or when you're playing some kind of a setup with your teammates. Some baiting setup. Otherwise, big no-no. In this round, what would have been really smart? Okay, so this is how Charlatan thinks. Sova drone revealed me here. I didn't find any impact. I didn't find a kill. I need to reposition. They revealed me. Enemy Omen did a one-way smoke up there to deny that position. What does Charlatan do? I instantly position myself to surprise the enemies again. Because they will think they denied me on this area of the map. I go up here. Easy kill. Bro, one thing, even though you said in your Discord message that you're playing Omen more as a support, I don't see any support from you. Pay attention on that thing up there. Pay attention on the minimap. Where are the smokes for your teammates? Where are the one-way smokes? Like, you're not supporting your teammates with the smokes at all. If I see, you know, enemies pushing short, one-way there. If I see enemies pushing here, you can also do a one-way here for your allies. I think it can land there on that lamp. Yeah. And now, your teammates can hold this type of an angle. Enemies cannot cross. Enemies don't see shit there. Look at this. You know, try to support your teammates more with the smokes, utility, and one-way smokes. Try, you know, in a 2 versus 2 scenarios, try to play a bit slower. Like here, I feel that you had more time to actually play with your raise. And in this situation, instead of swinging this angle alone, without any knowledge, where is the enemy jet? We know that the killjoy is there, but where the fuck is jet? Stupid 50-50 fight. Like, what would have been much smarter here? You had 2 solutions in this example. So, the first solution was flashing the enemies in the generator and playing with the raise. Because they won't expect you doing that. And maybe, like, what you could have done is also do a smoke here. Do a fake teleport, like this. And play with the raise. Now, enemies are absolutely clueless about your position. You're keeping your location a secret. And you can play with a raise on a reframe potential. Kill that Killjoy together, kill the Jet together, end of the story. Second solution was wait for your raise. You know, like, wait for her a bit to basically come to this choke point, then do a smoke there, do a flash here, and, you know, engage the enemies with a raise. That 50-50 fight, especially with a Bulldog, was a bit risky, and I would never take that fight alone. Okay, another lesson when it comes to statistics in Valorant, and when it comes to my, you know, playbook in Valorant. Enemies' utility usage and ultimate status can tell you a lot, like what enemies are going to do in the next round. If you keep the track, you know, what type of utility enemies have, 90% of times you're going to guess where the enemies are going to go next. So for example, if you see a Killjoy ultimate on Ascent, there's 80% of chances they're going to push the B site. And when I see that the enemy Killjoy has the ultimate, I will always buy the Odin and I will play the B site. And if I already have a Vandal, I'm going to buy a Sheriff so that I can penetrate her ultimate here. And a lot of Killjoy players make a mistake where they plant the ultimate here and here. And it's very easy to counter that ultimate. It's always better to plant it behind the box here, even though that angle is not going to be cleared. What I would do, you know, what I would like to have as a Killjoy player is ultimate here, and I would try to do a Nano Swarm here. And that's basically it, while I'm pushing the site. Listen, if you see enemies in mid, going towards the short, start doing that one-way smoke, Second information. Your KO is alone on A. You have a full setup on B. You have a Raze in CT, Cypher here, Sova here. Use the ultimate on A. Reposition towards the KO. Help the KO out. Your primary focus on Ascent is defending the A short and garden area of the map. And right now, throughout this whole fucking match, both your short and garden are fully open. And look at that. Woo! Jet is there surprising your Raze. Pay attention on that. Bro, passiveness is gonna destroy you on Ascent, man. Passiveness is gonna demolish your ass. You're just allowing the enemies so much space, allowing them to take so much control from you and do this type of shit. And your Sova is consistently alone on the B side, fighting alone. And you're getting denied by this smoke instead of playing some kind of an off angle or playing with your Sova. And whenever your teammates are getting in a gunfight and you're not doing anything useful for them, you know, you're just sitting in the enemy smoke, use your flash. You see enemies reveal here. Your Sova is fighting them. Use a flash. Maybe your Sova is going to survive because of that. Maybe that is going to give you a time to reposition and play with the Sova. Stop wasting time. One of the biggest differences between a Hearthstone Immortal player and a Radiant player is the amount of wasted time in your gameplay. Like, you will notice that Radiant players are very explosive. Like they make very quick decisions. Like, even if a decision is bad, they make some kind of a decision. Sitting in smoke here, not doing anything while your teammates are taking a fight. It's not even trying to help them in any way. When you have a shrouded steps to reposition, you have a smokes, you have the, I don't know, like you have a flash. Wasted time. Absolutely stupid first round strategy. Okay, listen. On Ascent, enemies have Sage and Killjoy on a defender side. We cannot push S5 A main and B main. Impossible. Your push is gonna get delayed, stopped. Enemies will have time to flank you. They will catch you in a rotation. Too much risk. If you see that enemies have a Sage and Killjoy in a team, two solutions. First solution, 1-4 split. 4 teammates going in market, 1 teammate lurking through the B main area of the map. You're doing a smoke here, end of the story. Second solution, 2-3 split. 3 teammates going short with a spike, 2 teammates going A main. You're doing a smoke here, smoke on tower, end of the story. In this push here, like, you should have played more with your teammates. You should have been like a bit there for them, you know, trying to use a flash for them in time, trying to push together with them. Like in these anti-eco rounds and bonus rounds, everything is about team play. Just play on a reframe potential, push together the site, don't split the map, don't play passively, don't play default, and just push something together. So the push on B was good. Okay, game decision, not bad, like whatever. But you should have been there for the teammates a bit more and try to push the site together with them, especially support them with your flash ability. and there was really no reason for you to play a post plan here, I would have instantly used my shrouded steps towards the speedway to play with my teammates. I mean, enemies are eco and halbite. Just fight together. Don't be an eco cobra. Don't be an eco cobra. Don't be an eco cobra. Fuck that shit, man. Okay. Very good thing that you were observing that updraft. I love that a lot. That's good. Smoke. Smoke, flash. Smoke, flash, man. Like, your highest priority in solo queue is always doing 2 smokes, then doing a flash, and then going out with your teammates. But you're playing so passively and so away from your allies that you're not even able to use your utility in time. And that's really killing you, you know, like killing your gameplay and your ability to support your teammates. One of the biggest advices that I can give you in a post plant, like, if your teammates are searching for a fight, and if your teammates are fighting the enemies, fight with them. Especially if you have a numbers advantage. If I see that my Cypher and Raze are pushing the short area of the map and going into the garden, my K is playing here. I need to play with them on site. Unfortunately, we need to sacrifice the A main area of the map and play with our teammates. Prioritize the smokes over the flashes. Like in this example, when they were pushing the short area of the map. Like first, okay, we're making a setup. We're making a fast entrance onto A. Smoke. Smoke. Flash. Like you cannot flash this area of the map where your flash doesn't even catch enemies here, enemies playing on an off angle here, and enemies playing here. And expect your teammates to live while they're pushing through this area of the map into the A site.
Aquí no side. Vamos aquí. Nice. Ya está aquí.
Go out! Go out! What is that flash, bro? Look at the minimap. Pay attention on the minimap, bro. Like, first smoke is always the smoke for the market. Why? That is the first angle that your teammates are peeking. When you're pushing the B side, first smoke is a smoke for the market. Second smoke is a smoke for CT. Then you're flashing somewhere where you think enemies are at that moment of time. I usually use the flash like this, so that I cover the stairs, switch, and a bit of the speedway. Then, I'm going in with my teammates and supporting them.
Aquí no side.
Your Cypher did the ultimate. Omen is dead there. It's an X mark, cross mark. Killjoy there, Sova there, Jet there.
Nice.
Go with the Raze in sight. What is that flash? Pay attention on the minimap. Pay attention on your teammates' positioning. You need to look more what the fuck your teammates are doing if you want to play Omen on the highest possible levels. Like, the reason why I'm playing Omen on such a high levels is because my eyes are 50% of times here. And 50% of times here.
Planto.
Thanks God. Thanks God that you didn't have a chance to commit to that teleport. Generally speaking, when you're playing in ranked solo queue, you don't want to use your Omen teleport to teleport too far away from your teammates. Like, you never want to teleport in CT or behind the enemies. You want to make the sandwich of the enemies, but take the space on the site. Take the space around the choke points. Make the pressure onto the enemies. Reveal them. Take the spike. Rotate. Like, these type of teleports are always stupid, especially if you're 4 versus 2. Okay, somehow we won this match. The biggest takeaways from this VOD review is that passive gameplay in Valorant will kill you, especially on the Ascent. You need to have higher map knowledge. Watch the videos that I've shared with you through the coaching sessions. And please, keep a better distance and a better support between you and your teammates. You need to recognize who is your most useful teammate, who is the teammate that is doing something good at that moment of time, and try to play with that ally a bit better. Also, try to support your teammates a bit better with your utility, and have a proper order in which you're doing your utility. I think we covered shit. Like, we did this VOD review for what, 2 hours? 2 hours and 20 minutes? Free VOD review? Fuck this shit, man. Like, I want to play some Valorant. Before we end, if you're interested in coaching yourself, join my Discord server, head over to private coaching and choose the improvement plan that suits you the best. You can also enter giveaways to win free Valorant points or a live VOD review on my twitch.tv/charlatan channel. If you want to win free coaching right now, be sure to comment down below your Discord name without a hashtag and what you learned or liked the most about this video. I'll be picking one lucky winner randomly. Thank you for watching and cut, baby!